I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy...
Since morning, a different aura had been felt in the Yamaha garage. Toprak looked incredibly focused, entering the track without much drama. But it only took a few laps for the timing screens to suddenly change. His times immediately shot up, surpassing Yamaha's own internal expectations. The engineers were shocked, the mechanics exchanged glances, and the paddock began whispering. This wasn't just any test, this was a warning sign for their rivals. To make matters even more crazy, Toprak set the fastest lap time, approaching and even breaking the Aragon test record, something previously thought impossible for Yamaha's V4 bike, which was still in its early development stages. Acceleration on the straights increased dramatically, while stability under braking, Toprak's trademark, was a deadly weapon. The extreme late braking style, which had previously dominated only world superbikes, was now evident and effective in Motogp. The Yamaha V4 seemed tailor-made to accommodate Toprak's aggressive riding style. The bike remained composed on corner entry, the rear wheel locked up neatly, and directional transitions were smooth. Many Motogp riders paused at the pit wall, just to watch Toprak's single lap. One of the most vocal was Marco Bezzecchi. The Italian rider couldn't hide his admiration. Bezzecchi admitted that Toprak's speed on a completely new bike was unbelievable. He said the Yamaha V4 looked alive in Toprak's hands, and the combination of the two was very dangerous for the coming seasons. According to Bezzecchi, what was most surprising wasn't just his time, but the way Toprak achieved it. He didn't seem pushy, he didn't seem panicked, but every sector was precisely executed. This wasn't just a fast rider. This was a rider who was truly at one with the machine. For Yamaha, the results of this test immediately changed the development landscape. Yamaha, which had lagged behind Ducati for years, now saw a glimmer of real hope. The V4 engine, aggressively developed for the 2026 Motogp season, seemed to have found its ideal match. Toprak wasn't just a test rider, but a catalyst for Yamaha's revolution. Several sources in the paddock reported that the data from today far exceeded simulation targets. Mechanical grip improved, top speed jumped significantly, and most importantly, lap-to-lap consistency. This was a factor that had been Yamaha's weakness. Here's the full news. Today, Motorland Aragon wasn't just a testing ground. The circuit transformed into a stage for a major surprise that left the entire Motogp paddock speechless. It all began with a test session that initially seemed routine, but ended up being a serious warning to all of Yamaha's rivals. The name echoed throughout the track once again: Toprak Razgatlioglu. As soon as Toprak emerged from pit lane on the new Yamaha V4, the atmosphere was immediately different. There were no celebrations, no exaggerated gestures. But within just a few laps, the timing screen began to speak for itself. Numbers changed rapidly, sector after sector turning purple. Many initially thought this was just a short simulation or a quick push lap. But the subsequent laps were even faster. And that's where a little panic began to set in. Toprak wasn't just fast in one sector. He was fast in all sectors. Hard braking, technical sections, and even Aragon's long straights. All of them were devoured with speed that Yamaha hadn't demonstrated in recent seasons. The V4 engine, which had been a question mark until now seemed to have found its true voice. What was most astonishing was how Toprak controlled the bike. His trademark extreme late braking style hasn't diminished in the slightest. In fact, with the Yamaha V4, it seems even more effective. While other riders have to sacrifice stability for speed, Toprak is calm, precise, and consistent. Several Yamaha engineers were seen staring at their laptops, ensuring the incoming data wasn't a sensor error. But the numbers were real. Corner entry speeds increased, corner exit acceleration more brutal, and most surprising of all, tire wear remained under control. This wasn't just about one fast lap. This was about the complete package. Over a long run, Toprak was able to maintain a rhythm with very small time differences. Lap after lap was nearly identical. Yamaha's long-standing problem, consistency, seemed to have disappeared under the Turkish rider. At the side of the track, several MotoGP riders began to lose interest. Many stood on the pit wall just to watch Toprak's full lap. One of them was Marco Bezzecchi. His face clearly showed surprise. After the session, Bezzecchi admitted that what he saw today was not normal. According to Bezzecchi, Toprak looked like he'd been riding the bike for years, even though it was still in the early stages of development. He called Toprak's speed on the Yamaha V4 unbelievable, especially since the bike hadn't reached its final version yet. Bezzecchi even highlighted one crucial aspect. Toprak didn't seem to be pushing it. There was no excessive sliding, no wild corrections. Everything looked controlled, clean, and efficient. And that was precisely the most frightening aspect. From Yamaha's perspective, today's results were said to have exceeded their highest expectations. The internal, conservative timelines for the initial development phase were immediately exceeded. Several paddock sources said that today's Aragon data forced Yamaha to rewrite its 2026 MotoGP development roadmap. The V4 engine, designed to catch up with Ducati, was now not just competitive, it looked ready to fight. Top speed had increased significantly, but without sacrificing the Yamaha's smooth cornering character. And with Toprak on board, this combination became a real threat. For years, Yamaha had been known as a friendly bike, but lacking in aggression. Today, that narrative collapsed. The Yamaha V4 looked ferocious, hungry, and ready to attack. And Toprak was the right man to unleash it. Even more surprising, some of Toprak's lap times were reportedly close to, or even touching, the Aragon test benchmark, something previously thought only possible for Ducati with its best package. The fact that this happened in a closed test session, with a bike still in development, made many nervous. If this was just a test, what would it be like in the race? That question began to echo through the paddock. Ducati watched intently. Honda began comparing data. Aprilia recorded every detail. And Yamaha, for the first time in a long time, looked confident. Today, Toprak Razgatlioglu didn't just set a fast time. He sent a message. A message that he wasn't just a world superbike star, trying his luck in MotoGP. He came with a mission. He came with ability. And now, he came with the right bike. Today's Aragon test might be remembered as a turning point. The day the Yamaha V4 found its true identity. The day Toprak proved that its speed was no myth. And the day when MotoGP 2026 starts to feel a lot hotter. The MotoGP test at Aragon, which should have been a moment of optimism for Yamaha, instead turned into a wake-up call that shook the entire Yamaha V4 project. It all started with one name, Toprak Razgatlioglu. The rider, known for his brutal braking, wasn't just testing the bike, but rather exposing Yamaha's deepest weaknesses before the eyes of the entire paddock. From the morning of the first day of testing, attention was drawn to Toprak's every move on the track. The way he pressed the brakes, forced the bike into corners at extreme angles, and remained aggressive even when the bike wasn't fully stable had Yamaha technicians holding their breath. The data coming from the monitors weren't just numbers, but warning signals. And after getting off the bike, Toprak finally spoke. His words immediately sent Yamaha into a panic. Toprak honestly revealed that the Yamaha V4 had indeed experienced a significant increase in power. On the straights, the bike felt much more powerful than the previous generation. However, it was precisely in the most crucial areas of MotoGP that Yamaha made a fatal mistake. The bike's character under hard braking and cornering was deemed unprepared for the highest level of competition. According to Toprak, the main problem with the Yamaha V4 wasn't a single component, but rather the overall harmony of the bike. The engine, chassis, and electronics haven't yet integrated into a confident unit. When entering corners at high speed, the front end of the bike doesn't feel like it's talking enough to the rider. In MotoGP, Losing front-end feel for even a fraction of a second can result in a crash or significant time loss. This is what makes Toprak's statement so worrying for Yamaha. Because Toprak's riding style reflects the extreme conditions Motogp riders often face during races. If the bike isn't stable when forced to brake late, it's impossible to compete with Ducati, which is known for its strength on corner entry. Toprak even emphasized that the Yamaha V4 still feels rough when transitioning from braking to cornering. The bike seems to want to stay straight for longer before turning, something that is very detrimental on technical circuits like Aragon. In the modern MotoGP era, excellence isn't just about power, but how quickly the bike can stop and immediately steer to the apex. This statement made Yamaha engineers realize that they may have been too focused on chasing V4 engine power, while neglecting to develop a bike that's rider-friendly. This mistake could be catastrophic if not corrected now. MotoGP 2026 is just around the corner, and other manufacturers have already made significant progress. Adding to the tension, Toprak also implicitly compared the feel of the Yamaha V4 to that of its competitors. He implied that the Ducati and KTM felt more ready to fight when pushed aggressively. This wasn't because their riders were superior, but because their bikes gave riders complete confidence when attacking corners. However, Toprak wasn't here to denigrate Yamaha. Quite the opposite. He emphasized that the Yamaha V4 had enormous potential, and could even become a dangerous weapon if its development was carried out in the right direction. His harsh criticism was a form of early warning, before it was too late. For Yamaha, the Aragon test was a moment of brutal reflection. Over the past few seasons, Yamaha had been known to lag behind in acceleration and top speed. The arrival of the V4 was expected to be a complete solution. But now it was clear that power alone wasn't enough. Without the right
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this